Okay, today we're doing something called the difference quotient. Now I just expect you to be able to find one, but I don't expect you to be able to use it. That's next year. We're really going to use the difference quotient. Now, we can really use it for basic things. The old textbook used to do it. For rates of change. Like basic, you're traveling this many miles per hour. But we're not going to get into the applications because we don't have much time this year. But before next year, I do want you to know how to find a difference quotient. Now, should make sense that it's called a difference quotient. We're going to be subtracting, then we're going to be dividing. So, let's take this piece by piece. So if I give you, I can't see where I'm writing, f of x equals x squared minus x plus 2. Don't worry about that just yet. We'll get to that. If I give you this function, let's find f of x plus h. Remember, to do that, I plug all of this in to my x values. You've got to plug it in both. So I have x plus h squared, that's when I plug it in here, minus x plus h, that's when I plug it in here, plus 2. Now when you plug in, remember to have parentheses. Okay, so this I can expand. Now we could FOIL that out, x plus h times x plus h, but hey, didn't we just do the binomial theorem? And I know my coefficients are 1, 2, and 1. So I have x squared, xh, h squared, plus. You could, of course, FOIL that out, but I use the binomial theorem. Minus x, distribute, minus h plus 2. So even though it's messy, this is f of x plus h. It's the first thing I found, leading up to a difference quotient here. Now I want to find f of x plus h minus f of x. So I already found this. I found that to be x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Let's see, what was it? Let me go back. Minus x minus h plus 2. Let me check. Yep. That was just f of x plus h. Now I want to minus f of x. Well, all of this is f of x. F of x equals this. So I want to minus all of that. Parentheses, x squared minus x plus 2. Let's distribute my negative. So I have x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus x minus h plus 2 minus x squared plus x minus 2. Good stuff happens here. Cancel the x's, cancel the 2's, cancel the x squareds. So I'm left with 2xh plus h squared minus h. And this equals f of x plus h minus f of x. Now I want to find f of x plus h minus f of x, all over h. Well, in part B, I just found all this. So I had 2xh plus h squared, let's see, minus h. But now I want it all over h. Now, don't you dare try to cancel that. Don't you dare. Because they don't cancel with addition or subtraction. But we can pull out an h. So if I factor out an h, I'm left with 2x plus h minus 1. Do not forget, that doesn't disappear. There's still a 1 there. All over h. Now, since it's multiplication, I can cancel. And I end up with 2x plus h minus 1. And guess what? That is something called a difference quotient. Because because I subtracted and divided. Now, meaning, like I said, we won't get into meaning this year. We'll get more into it next year. I actually have a song for it next year. But we'll get into that next year. But it is rate of change. Kind of like average rate of change, sometimes instantaneous, depending on how you're looking at it. But let's get a definition here. If f is a function, then f of x plus h minus f of x all over h is called the difference quotient. Hence, difference because you're subtracting, quotient because you are dividing. Like I said, we won't get into too much to the meaning, although it has some really good meaning. I could go on forever and ever about what this actually means. Let's get into it a little bit. Let's look at a graph. What's going on here is if I have a curve, let's say this is x. Then this is f of x. Well, let's say I have a little bit of change. Let's call that distance h. Then this spot is x plus h, because it's x plus a little. Then this is f of x plus h. Now remember, slope is y minus y over x minus x. So my slope would be f of x plus h minus f of x. There's your y minus y. My x would be x plus h minus x. Look at that. What the difference quotient really is, it is a fancy schmancy way of writing slope. Which is why it's average rate of change. It is really just slope. That's all it is, slope. So let's try one. Very basic one, x squared. So I want to find f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. I'm first going to find f of x plus h. That's exactly how we started our first example. So that is going to be plug all this into my function. So I have x plus h squared, which we already know is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. So in my formula, this right here is x squared plus 2xh plus h squared minus my function. Well, my function is just x squared all over h. Now, if you did that part right, if you set this problem up correctly, everything that doesn't have an h better cancel. If you have something that doesn't cancel, like an x squared, and it doesn't have an h, okay, you did something wrong, because they need to cancel. See how my x squareds cancel here? The only thing left have h's in them. If you have something that doesn't have an h, and it didn't cancel, something's wrong. Because the very next step I'm going to do is I'm going to pull out an h. Left with 2x plus h. Cancel, cancel. 2x plus h. There's my difference quotient. Voila! Let's try another one. F of x equals negative 4x plus 7. So now I have f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. So I'm going to first focus on finding f of x plus h. Well, that would be negative 4x plus h plus 7. All I did was plug it in. But that's just this. Minus the whole function. But be careful, you better have parentheses there, because you have to subtract all of it. So this is my f of x plus h. This is my f of x. Okay, let's clean this up. Distribute. Negative 4x minus 4h plus 7 plus 4x minus 7 all over h. Oh, word of caution, do not drop the h. I know we don't really use it till the end, but if you drop the h, I'm marking it wrong. Okay, because you're dropping all your x values then in your slope. So no, no, no. Cancel, cancel. Cancel, cancel. Which is awesome because everything that's left better have an h. So I'm really left with negative 4h over h, which is cancel, cancel, negative 4. complete sense because I told you just a minute ago when we looked at what the difference quotient is, it really is just slope. And hey, isn't this a line with a slope of -4? And before you even ask, yes, you do have to show all that work. Nice try, though. Okay, let's do another. Find the difference quotient of 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. So I want f of x plus h minus f of x all over h. Let's first find f of x plus h by plugging x plus h into both x's. Make sure you do both. So I have 2x plus h squared minus 3x plus h plus 1. So all I did was plug in x plus h. It's only the first half. Now I need to minus the entire function. So 2x squared minus 3x plus 1. All over h. Okay, so I have 2. Now we know to expand this, binomial theorem or FOIL. You get x squared plus 2xh plus h squared. Distribute. Minus 3x minus 3h plus 1. Distribute. Minus 2x squared plus 3x minus 1. All over h. Let's distribute again. I should save ourselves a little time. 1's already canceled. 3x is already canceled. So I have 2x squared plus 4xh. A lot of people miss that. Plus 2h squared minus 3h minus 2x squared all over h. That's nice because the 2x squareds cancel. Notice everything that's left better have an h in it. Because the next thing I want to do is factor it out. 4x plus 2h minus 3 all over h. Cancel, cancel. My answer is 4x plus 2h minus 3. Voila! Beautiful. Okay, let's do a bigger one. Alright, so I'm a good little mathematician, so I write my formula because writing it every time helps you memorize it. So let's do x plus h. So plug in x plus h to both x's. So I have 4x plus h cubed minus x plus h. That's just the first half. Minus your whole function. So you better have parentheses. 4x cubed minus x. All over h. Now, we've done that before. Let's expand that. Let's do the binomial theorem. My coefficients are 1, 3, 3, 1. X cubed, x squared, x, h cubed, h squared, h, plus, plus, plus. That's all still times 4. Minus x minus h, minus 4x cubed plus x. All over h. Well, I can at least cancel the x's for now. Let's distribute 4x cubed plus 12x squared h plus 12xh squared plus 4h cubed minus h minus 4x cubed all over h. Cancel, cancel. Everything left has an h, so now I factor it out. So I'm left with 12x squared plus 12xh plus 4h squared minus 1. Cancel, cancel. Left with 12x squared plus 12xh plus 4h squared minus 1. Voila. Okay, now we're going to do you try. I don't know if that shows up. Let me change the color real quick. So, I want you to, I know you're watching a video, but you should have paper out. I want you to pause the video. Pause the video and try this problem. And when you're done, hit play. Okay, f of x plus h minus f of x over h. So I have 4x plus h squared minus 7x plus h plus 1 minus all of f of x all over h. So I have 4x squared plus 2xh plus h squared, distribute, minus 7x minus 7h plus 1 minus 4x squared plus 7x minus 1 all over h. I can cancel a little. I can get rid of my 1's, my 7x's. Now I need to distribute. 4x squared plus 8xh plus 4h squared minus 7h minus 4x squared all over h. Cancel, cancel. Everything left has an h, so I'm going to factor it out. So I have 8x plus 4h minus 7. Cancel, cancel. I'm left with 8x plus 4h minus 7. Voila! Hopefully you did it right. If not, make sure you see me. Ask questions. Okay, ask questions. Homework tonight is a handout. Of course, it will be due tomorrow.